Hello, this is Kgadi the Possibilitarian, and today I feel drawn towards talking about mental health and, yeah, mental health and the erosion of mental health, and yeah, because I think it's because I was just contemplating about how nowadays it is so easy to lose somebody, you know, with the rate of suicides going up and nothing is guaranteed. And this is because just a couple of days ago, I almost lost a friend or somebody that I got to know. And this was after I stumbled what read like a suicide note on social media. And I was happy to realize that they're now back. They are here. That we still have this person. They're still breathing. And besides that, we can all agree that the social media right now, like this, it is just bad. It is just bad. The reason why I actually even opened a line to hold space for people is because it is bad out there. Is the young and the old. But then really what I wanted to talk about today is why is it happening at this rate right now? Where is it coming from? And it's not even a sudden increase in depression, people who are depressed, anxious, with mental health illnesses and all that. No, this has always been there. It's just that right now I think people are getting the language of it, and there's also community in the sense that when people share their own stories, that's when it starts resonating with you, and they start realizing, oh, the way I've been feeling all along, it's this. Now I have a name for it. You understand? So it's growing up in the village, and when we were young, there were people who struggled, who suffered from mental illnesses, and then it would end at they've been bewitched, and then that's it. And then you couldn't tell that there is bipolar, there is other neuro disorders, personality disorders, and other illnesses, depression, and things like that. But now I think we're just having a collective enlightenment. Like we're getting woke as the human race, and which is a good thing. It's just that right now, that wokeness, that enlightenment now is faced like is meshed up with the instant gratification. The era of keeping up with the Kardashians. Because if we check, it's literally the young and the old that are actually drowning right now. So with the young right now, yes, it's they're teens right now. They're able to name, to say that I'm anxious, I'm depressed, this is not good for me. They have the language for it, and they're okay, I'm burning stuff, I need to go, and then I'll come back. So yeah, the young people now, they're able to have the knowledge to say, okay, this thing is making me anxious, and they have now the space to say, I don't like this. This is making me feel this way and stuff like that. And I think it's because also the young people now, we're also talking, majority of them, their parents are people who are also woke. So they pay attention to that. So that's a good thing. But then the trick part is that now with the culture, with the pop culture, with the keeping up with the Kardashian thing, is the thing that is now counteracting this beautiful thing of having people who are now awake, who are able to name their emotions, who are able to feel and process their own emotions. Because now, as they're trying to process that, is that in that moment where they feel like, you know what, I need to disconnect. This is the era of social media where young people want it, and they want it now. Right? So they can't even allow themselves to have that time out, even though when they feel they need time out, because FOMO, I want to be part of it. I don't want to miss a thing. So that's why we have this chaotic thing. So it's not bad. It's not a bad thing that we have more people coming out as struggling. Like they're able to to say, like, it was so hard for people. It is still so hard for people to say that they're struggling. But now we have more people coming out to say, I need help, right? Because when people don't come out to say they need help, they end up, we end up losing them to the dark places, right? But now we have more people coming out, which is a good thing, right? But now it is counteracted thing. That good thing is counteracted by the keeping up. Right now, a person will not have a good night's sleep because they need to just like check what's happening on social media. They decide to like deactivate social media because they feel like they're drowning and they need their own time. But in the midst of it, they just like break the rule and then go back, right? So here are the two things that I'm realizing, or the human race is currently experiencing. So yes, we're having a collective awakening, all of us. We're starting to have the name for, our feelings. We're getting more comfortable feeling our emotions, naming them and processing them, and saying that I'm not okay when we're not okay, right? But then the tricky part is that right now, if I was looking at the young professionals and I'm like, okay, the young professionals who are currently, the current working class, the young professionals that are the working class, these are the people that that made something out of nothing, most of them. So these are the people that grew up not having a lot, right? And then they had to like work so hard. These are the people that didn't have dreams for themselves. The key dream that they had was to just make money and then do a difference at home, give their homes, their parents, their siblings a better life. So now with this collective awakening, they realize that, oh my goodness, I have a job. And then now it's like they're being sent back. You're being sent back to deal with that which is not okay within you, that you packed when you were still young, the time that you were going, you went through school and the job market just holding it together because you just wanted to get that paycheck. Now you have the paycheck. Now that thing that you parked away is sending you back to say deal with it. Because even if you check with how people nowadays, they have money, they are working, but they still have a not so good relationship with money. They have money, but then it's not working for them. They still struggle with taking care of themselves and stuff like that. It is because of poverty trauma. You're not used to money. Now you have money. And we don't know that this thing just goes back to the fact that where we are right now. The thing, there's something I realized about trauma or how we grow up. So trauma and difficulties or toxic environment and stuff like that, those things, they don't really matter. They don't really affect you too much. You don't really feel them when you're a kid. You feel them when you're in the adulthood, not in the childhood. Because in the adulthood, it's when now you're now in this new environment where you're liberated and all that. But then there is a competition between the kid you that struggled, that had their own issue in the like when they were young, and then you just packed away their feelings and their emotions, and now that kid now wants to feel, but now you're in a different. It's like growing up being told that you're not good enough, you're not deserving and stuff like that, and now you're being put in at a level where now you know what, you can get whatever you want, you can afford it, but now you're not able to enjoy that life because you still have this sense of unworthiness. You're not worthy of it and stuff like that. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that a part of this not so sudden rise in mental health erosion, besides the keeping up with the Kardashians and the era of instant gratification, it's because of the young adults that we have right now are the adults that had it so tough. in their childhood. But now because they're awakening, because when people come up to share, because we have more people who are more liberated, and when these people that are liberated start sharing their own stories, they liberate others. So now that's when you start looking at yourself like, oh my goodness, I'm actually not okay. You know? Yes, you now start realizing that I'm not okay. And then now, once you know, you can't unknow, right? And then that's when it starts now. You start realizing that, you know what? I didn't actually get over that particular thing. You understand? And then that's when now it starts, depending on how you're going to deal with that, because it's not like this, the people taking their own lives and, triggers are everywhere. So some are getting subtle triggers, but some, they're not really aware that these are triggers until they see it, you know? Like right now we hear people saying, if it was something, I think I read it on social media about people, if it was not, when would you have died if like your suicide attempt, was successful, and a whole lot. Like right now, there is a lot of people who would resonate with that moment of wanting to end your life. A lot of them, but they're here. You understand? Meaning, most of the human race share the same story, right? And then now, as this happens, you start feeling less alone and stuff like that. You realize that we are all actually going through a lot. And where it stems from is the childhood. How you were brought up is coming to catch up with you. How that has been fueled instant gratification right now. People don't have time to deal with a thing. You know what? Because of the culture of positive vibes only. Right? So we have 3 things that are at play right now that we need to look into them. Otherwise, we're going to lose more people. First is the childhood trauma. You grew up with nothing. You had to grow up so fast. You didn't have time to play and stuff like that. You were, alienated as a kid. Like your parents favored the other one, you were not favored. That thing is going to catch up with you. Some of you, that thing is catching up with you, right? What do you do when you realize that it is there? You got to deal with it now. Because things like that, last time I talked about suicide and the fact that you don't commit suicide. It's wrong to say somebody committed suicide because it just insinuates that a person literally like premeditated the whole thing to say, I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to use this. Those things, it's when people take their own life. There are people who took their own lives in the evening, and in the afternoon they didn't know that they were gonna die. They don't actually even want to die, but it's in that moment where you feel like you are out of air. You are drowning, like there is no rope, there is nothing at all. And then that's just one thing. It could be a slight thing that just pushed the button, or it could be like this earthquake, earthquake of emotions just comes, bam, and then you're in the dark place. You understand? So you need to deal with it. How do you deal with that? There is a whole lot. I know that as Black people especially, we are not used to talking. We are not encouraged. We've never, most of the young Black people, we grew up not being given this space where like you have to talk about your feelings, like you have to talk to somebody about your problems and stuff like that. We have been taught to pray things away, to affirm them away, to declare away. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Yes, but right now, you are falling apart. You are falling apart. Emotional dishonesty. We've been trained to be emotionally dishonest because you don't have faith. Because most of the Black people, they have faith. These are the people of faith. So, and most of our faith is like related. So right now, this is the time to deal with it. You're not okay about something. You need to start talking about it because you would think this thing is so huge. Some of the things that we are dealing with or that you're faced with. It could be something that you just need to cry about it. You just need to like have somebody listen to you, and then you say it to say, you know what, there's this moment that I can't just get out of my mind. And then you start talking about it, you tell somebody, and then it is gone, and you'll feel yourself, you will claim your power back like you are back to living. Some of you, it just takes confronting somebody. Some of you, it takes different things. And there is nothing wrong with taking antidepressants. There's nothing wrong with being checked in a psych ward. Like, whatever it is. But the thing is, just take the first step of dealing with it. Deal with it. And that's the first thing, right, that we need to do. We have people who have to deal with things that happened before. These are not the things that are happening right now, because most of the things that are happening right now, they trigger what happened before. So we need to go back and deal with those things. And I know the word trauma has been, used a lot to a point where by now it's like we're talking about this bad thing, or it is disgusting. If you have trauma, you are just this person who's toxic, because it is intertwined with the word toxic, right? But trauma just means that you had this experience that wounded you, that left a mark on you, right? That is just trauma. Trauma is not always sexual abuse. Being told that you're not good enough, living in poverty, that is trauma. You understand what I'm trying to say? So we need to start being so gentle and try changing our perspective, because we use these words to trash people. We use this word to alienate people. It's like we don't want to be associated with this kind of thing. It's like we are traumatizing ourselves, right? So that's the first thing. Please, if you know that there is something that keeps on coming back to you, like it could be from your childhood or something, you've been bullied and things like that, deal with those things. Talk to somebody about them. I've been seeing the rise in these circles where people go on to sit and then they talk. I've heard about the men's conference. Is it like a real thing that is happening? Things like that, such circles where we just talk, because some people, they just need to let it out. But the second thing, here's what's also killing us also, what we need to look into, what we need to rectify. We hear more people saying that you have to speak up, you need to talk and stuff like that. But also there's this rise in this culture of positive vibes only. And the word toxic is thrown left, right, and center. Guys, okay. We need to check ourselves. I just talked about I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, and pray things away and stuff like that, have faith and stuff like that. The positive vibes only is toxic on its own, because what you're saying when you say no toxic, no negativity and stuff like that, it says the message that you would not engage with a person who is not okay, because now you are sending the message to say, if you're not okay, you are toxic. If you're not okay, I can't deal with you. And guess what? You may thinking that you're talking about your peers or friends out there, which is also still not okay. But that message is also being sent to your siblings, to your partner, to your cousins, to whoever is close to you. So meaning there's a possibility that there is somebody who is close to you right now, but they can't talk to you because talk positive vibes only. Because you've already labeled them as toxic. It is so nice that we are woke, and we stand up for ourselves to say I will not settle, I will not conform to toxicity and stuff like that. We're able to realize that toxic environments are not only created by people out there or the workplaces, but also in the home, in their households. You have to draw set boundaries and stuff like that. But do not alienate people, do not trash people, do not kill people using those things in your wokeness. Don't do that. Don't misuse that. We are misusing it. The reason why I'm talking about it, because it is so far. It is so far. It is so far to a point where it is not even authentic. It's not genuine. And I'm actually even thinking that when you say positive vibes only, it's because you're also dealing with stuff that you don't want to confront. Because when people confront their own stuff, they make you realize that you also have your own issues that you have to deal with. So if you found yourself saying that speak up and stuff like that, start checking yourself. What other message are you sending out there? Are you saying positive vibes only? I'm a possibilitarian. I'm one positive person that you'll ever meet. I'm a possibility thinker, but I'm a rational optimist and a rational positive person. I feel my old feelings. There are times I feel crappy and I allow myself to feel crappy. There are times where I feel like damn and I get damn. You understand? So we have to allow other people to be human beings. We shouldn't go through life holding it together. That is not the best strategy. That strategy doesn't work, because when you keep it together, there'll be a time where bam, you keep on, like I said earlier on to say, with the young professionals right now that are struggling, they're still struggling with the black tax thing. They're still struggling with, oh, people just come, they have these transactional relationships with people. They're struggling with people taking advantage of them. Okay, have we ever asked ourselves why Mjolo Unyisa? Because a whole lot of people talk about Mjolo Unyisa and stuff like that. Have you ever somebody ever taken a moment to just ask, why is it so hard? This thing is linked to your childhood. It's linked to your relations with how you grew up and your parents and the adult people. What you normalized, what was normalized growing up. When you keep on seeing a same person in different people, same experience, you're always attracting